Welcome to my YouTube, Robin James, music and reviews. Welcome to my YouTube, Robin James, music and reviews.
I was here when you got here?
Yeah, you sleep in the bedroom. That's good, just breathe.
Most of my patients have had nightmares.
Violet, where did you meet Bill?
We met on a train
To Boston. You dropped your ticket, and he bent down, picked it up, gave it to you, right?
Thank you for your loyalty. What are we doing?
Changing the world.
They're lying about everything.
Hey guys, welcome to Robin James Music and Reviews. We're going to try video this time. Hope you enjoy it. I'm testing it out. Eventually probably want to get a high def camera, better lighting, but we're going to give it a try. So today's movie is Don't Worry Darling. It's directed by Olivia Wilde and it starred Florence Pugh and Harry Styles and also Chris Pine. So this movie had quite a bit of drama surrounding it, and the question to me was, is that just some real PR, like some marketing ploy, because they were worried the movie wasn't going to have the word of mouth and spread like they had hoped when they started the project. It had a $20 million budget and did end up making 87 million worldwide, but that's not a huge profit after you tack on the fees they have to pay the theater and also the advertising budget.
Security level, yellow. All residents safe and accounted
So
for.
there was a lot of drama. Of course, Olivia Wilde had split with her then husband, Jason Sudeikis, and began dating Harry Styles. And that was all over the tabloids. Sort of added this other mystery and mystique to Don't Worry, Darling, I think. And then it came out that Florence Pugh was also having some drama and not agreeing, I think, with the direction of the film or her character possibly with the director Olivia Wilde. So they also had a spat. And speaking of spat, then at the Venice Film Festival, all hell breaks loose, and it appears that Harry Styles spits on Chris Pine. I'm talking Captain fucking Kirk.
And your boyfriend's second guessing me every chance he gets.
You can't do that. But he did, and that's what I actually think he did. Now, they both tried to kind of excuse it, but Chris came out months and months later and made up a story about something he had said. But it really doesn't look to me like he's saying anything. It looks more like he's spitting on him. So that was some crazy shit. Now, I've known there's been movies before that made up drama surrounding their film in order to get more media involved and to maybe drive people to be interested in their movie. Now, I do think some of this looks contrived. Now, the relationship between Wilde and Styles, I think that's probably real, but ultimately it does feed into that drama that we're looking for surrounding the movies. So that probably helps in a way. And then the drama between Pine and Styles is unexplainable. Now, I don't know anyone who goes to sit down and looks like they're spitting on someone and supposedly said something. So I'm gonna say he spit on him. That's the conclusion to that.
Dad, what are you doing?
There wasn't much acting.
So that's probably enough of the drama, but that was a big part of this movie. I think in a lot of ways, more people talked about the drama than the movie itself. But with that said, now I'd like to get into my thoughts on the actual movie, some of my positive thoughts, maybe mixed reviews, and my negative reactions to the film. Also, spoiler alert from here on out, I will be giving away plot details and some definite spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you are interested, I'd go do that now. Come on back to the review. So let's start out with the setup of the movie at face value is that it's a group of 1950s housewives and their husbands, and they live in this sort of idyllic utopia society, which is like an experiment. And there's this mysterious company called the Victory Project, and basically all the husbands drive during the day into the desert to this facility, and nobody's allowed to be there except for them. And the women and children stay back in the community, and they clean the house, they're making the food, they're being housewives, and it's a lot like the setup to, say, Stepford Wives. Also, I feel like it's a bit like The Island in a way. I don't know if you've seen that one. Even The Truman Show. There's a lot of these elements I think playing out here, and the setup's pretty good. Now, right away, I did know that something's clearly up. Maybe they're in the 50s, maybe they're not. I knew there was going to be a twist here, just from the marketing and the vibe of the movie very early.
Victory is safe and secure. Here you can live the life you deserve. We can all live the life.
So that's our setup. That's our premise here. And the main character of the movie is who I think is the standout here, and that's Florence Pugh, as she delivers another great performance. Definitely better than maybe the movie even deserved, to be honest. She definitely gives it her all. And she was good in Midsummer. I don't know if you saw that one. Wasn't my favorite movie. I watched it once, tried to watch it a second time. Not really my favorite, but she was the standout in that one as well. So she continues to give really good performances. And I hadn't seen her movie Fighting with Family or The Black Widow, but I heard she was the standout in those. So Florence Pugh is putting together a good resume. I think she's great. I think that without her, this movie might have sunk even harder than maybe it ended up doing. So another positive, though, I do have is the premise is good enough. It kept me interested. It kept me intrigued. I did want to see where it was going. I had thoughts and ideas of where it might be, and I think that's a good mystery. It kept my attention throughout. Now, I'll get into my negatives, and maybe at the end it wasn't so great, but it definitely had a pretty good lead up. I was invested in the Florence Pugh character and eventually also the Chris Pine character.
What is the enemy of progress?
Chaos.
Yeah. Ooh. Nasty word. Chaos.
The one thing they ask of us is to stay here.
So another positive here is actually the look of the film. I think it turned out really good. I love the costumes and their setup for the 50s. It's all very interesting, and I buy it. I really like that part of it. I think that Olivia Wilde shows that she has the potential to go on to be a really good director. Now, I think the screenplay and some of the editing maybe let this movie down. It feels a bit disjointed in that way, and the screenplay feels like it's kind of middling along, and we know something's going to happen. So, and then suddenly everything just kicked into gear in a way where the pacing just felt a little off. But again, technically, I think this movie is pretty dang good. I would give that a positive. So with that said, let's go in now to what is ultimately the twist, because I think to talk about the rest of the movie, I need to let you know the events here and how they occurred. And so we're led to believe, of course, this is an idyllic 50s neighborhood, sort of Ozzie and Harriet, sort of Leave It to Beaver, Pleasantville style. And, they're upbeat, they party, the guys go to work during the day, the women enjoy it enough. But then we see this one woman who's having kind of nightmares, and also the Florence Pugh character starts having these visions and things. So something is not up. As the audience, we realize that there's some maybe a little sinister going on here with this Victory Project and the Chris Pine character, and then this psychiatrist that we're introduced to.
Most of my patients have had nightmares.
The Florence Pugh character ends up basically testing the limits of the world. She finally wants to explore what's out there where her husband works. And when she gets there, she gets to this kind of dome facility. And when she touches it, seemingly she's able to connect with what's really going on. And again, it's really unexplained, but that's what happens is she seems to then have these visions really come through and realizes that she's got a whole other life. So at that point, what ends up being revealed is that the whole thing is a simulation. It's like an app. It's like on your computer, but they have the somehow have the technology to put you under, and you are now this your character basically in this simulated world, which is obviously a limited grid that is this little utopia they built with this desert around it, and they have all these reasons why you shouldn't go outside of the neighborhood, and it's to protect the fact that you really can't. It only goes so far. So that's the reveal here, is that these women are actually in 2022 or present day, and they're just like in their beds and they're asleep, or they're lobotomized by these things that go over their eyes, and this gel is like released. So it's a bit science fiction there, but it's so like small scale, and seems like, how would that even work? How would they keep them alive in their beds like that? And the Harry Styles character and the rest of the guys, they actually aren't driving to work in that world. They're going back to the real world, working their real jobs, making real money to pay and to fund the ability to be in this victory project when they get off work. That's my belief, that they're actually driving to this facility and waking up into the real world, working throughout the day, coming home to their idyllic lives that they pay for. And so that's how I interpreted it. I don't know if everyone saw it that way. So there's a lot of lies. There's a lot of people being misled. And we learned that the only person of the women that even know this is the case and is basically aware of it is Olivia Wilde's character. And she's married to Nick Kroll. And by the way, I can't stand Nick Kroll. He's definitely a negative for me when it comes to acting. I've yet to see something where he made me laugh or I felt like this guy's good. I just don't know what it is. Not a big Nick Kroll fan. If you are, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know what you saw him in. Maybe I could check it out. So Olivia Wilde's the only character that's kind of on the up and up and knows the deal with the fact that she's basically lobotomized in the real world in order to live in this idyllic life, and she thinks it's better. She wants to live that way. But the Florence Pugh character, what we do learn is that she was a real successful doctor, and she worked long hours, and for some reason she's with this like loser version of Harry Styles who's an American, and it's pretty goofy. I gotta say, I laughed when they showed the Harry Styles as this dumpy loser American nerd guy who plays video games and is all up on his computer and shit. It was pretty funny, and I definitely think that I don't think he's the worst actor in the world, but he's not on the level to be in a movie like this. I gotta be real. Did he only get the part because he's sleeping with her? But I think, whatever. That's all drama. That's all gossip. Who knows? I don't believe that to be the case. In fact, I think Shia LaBeouf, who I'm actually quite a big fan of his work, was maybe the first choice here, and she ended up going with Harry Styles and sort of, badmouth Shia to the media how he was working with the cast and stuff, which is ironic because all the drama that happened without Shia being there. So it's all kind of funny. This movie has so many layers of real world drama and the movie drama, how the movie turned out, the twist kind of being goofy. Definitely didn't spread or become like this instant cult classic as far as the actual movie went. The reception wasn't the greatest. So I think Shia LaBeouf would have been a better choice than Harry Styles.
Do it! Just do it!
I'm not sure he's a great actor, but he will keep getting roles. He's popular, that's for sure. So with that, being the mystery and the twist didn't end up paying off for me. I was invested. I was enjoying the performance by Pugh and Pine, and you can tell he's pulling the strings somehow, and you're just not quite sure. But again, we're just not really given enough to really care or know why he's even doing this. We just know he's up to something, and there's some good scenes in that, but overall, definitely doesn't pay off for me. So, and in the end, what were the themes? What do I think that clearly they were driving for here? Women have been, fighting for their rights for a long time, forever. So they've been trying to make their way and be equal, of course, to men and all that. And I'm great with that. I have no objection to her want to make a movie with that theme. But here it's heavy-handed, and I don't relate to these characters I don't hate women. I don't want to put a woman into a video game simulation. I don't want to do any of that. So I don't relate to that side of it, and I don't relate to the women the characters either. Florence Pugh's character is actually written sort of confusingly. She's definitely doesn't like her life, it seems like, in a lot of ways. So it seems like almost what Harry Styles is doing is commendable, but then she doesn't like that. And of course, because I mean she's been lied to and forced to do it, and that makes a lot of sense. But it's like she doesn't like either reality. So there's not a huge payoff there either. Um, so the theory here is it's women power empowerment. It's men controlling women, men gaslighting women, men telling women what to do, men being desperate losers, basically, is kind of what it's showing as, and that this is the only way that they can be happy. Um, so it fell flat for me, and I think for a lot of people. Another thing with the theme that I thought was very interesting, of course, is the aspect of living in a simulation. And with it being today, I think a lot of people, if you look online, are buying into that may be a possibility. Now, obviously, I myself think that we have souls and free will, so it seems way far fetched. But for a science fiction movie, it works pretty good, and especially when people nowadays are actually considering such a thing. Um, so I thought that that really tapped into something there that could be interesting to explore and a bit scary, if you will, to think that we have no control over what we do. And again, I don't think the movie was terribly made. I don't think all the performances were bad. Some of it was pretty good. Some pretty good sequences. No great special effects. No mind blowing events. No, you know, I think word of mouth. No water cooler shit. No, like, oh my god, did you see that scene? It just kind of fell flat, guys. So ultimately, I'd like to know in the comments what you thought about Don't Worry, Darling. Did the twist work for you? Did you like the themes? Did you feel like it was all put together really well or really bad? And what's your score? Now, my score for this movie, it was hard to come up with, to be honest, because I liked a good portion of it. But when a mystery and a thriller falls flat at the end, it's really tough to give it a good score or a high recommendation. Now, I will give it a 5.5 out of 10. Mildly recommend it. Um, if you're interested in these actors and actresses, I think it's a good watch. If you want to see it because of all the drama, I think it's a good watch. I think it's a good one-time watch. I tried to watch it twice because with mysteries, sometimes the second time you watch it, it actually gets better because you realize, wow, the filmmaker really fooled me and had put all these little Easter eggs or these moments in that I should have caught the first time but didn't. But it actually was more frustrating the second time because right away I'm like, how is this a simulation? Why did they die in the simulation? Why do they even have to eat fake simulated food? How do they have sex in the simulation and it feels real when their bodies are just lifeless on a bed in the real world? There just is this question after question. Why is Chris Pine doing this? How do the guys get enough money if they're kind of losers? Why doesn't the families and the coworkers check on these women? Why haven't the police been notified? How does any of this shit work? In the end, it just falls like boom. I think if it was more of a short film, just a half hour, like, we believe that it's in the 50s, and then right at the end, it snaps to like, oh my God, she's asleep and just ended. Maybe that would have worked. But for a full length feature, it falls flat. It's a 5.5 out of 10. I can't highly recommend it at all, but I think some people could enjoy it. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today at Robin James Music and Reviews. This one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the drama. The movie wasn't the best, but it was interesting, that's for sure. And also, when it comes to these kind of things, I think there's a famous line in a song somewhere that everyone should heed to, and that is, don't worry, be happy.